Advocates for immigrants are trying to rally more support for access to driver's licenses in Massachusetts. In a series of events over the weekend outside the State House, they're backing legislation that would allow the licenses for unauthorized immigrants, as is currently allowed in 14 other states. Joining us is one of the participants in the campaign, a volunteer with the advocacy group Movimiento Cosecha, Alicia Cortez. Thank you very much for being with us, Alicia.
Thank you for having me here.
First of all, talk about the importance of driving just in your own life.
Well, I am a mother of 5, and I have to drive. I have to, bring my children. Now, not no more because my children are a little bigger, but my youngest one, taking him to school, going to the meetings of the school, going to work, grocery shopping, doing laundry, and many other things, sports. Anything, picking up after late hours. I have to pick up my son, and it's like, things like that. That they're little, but they're so important. But I think the most important one is it's work. It's having to go to work and having to have that money to be able to bring home, so then we can live. So we can do all those groceries and laundry and pay our rent and pay. So the ability to be, to work and go to the doctors, and just have a type of...
You're describing the life of a very busy parent and worker, things that maybe people take for granted, but there was a time in your life when you didn't have a license. What was it like then?
It wasn't easy. I remember a lot having to get up and get my kids ready, and every day I would think of coming back home, safe and not getting pulled over, and just looking at the cops and just feeling nervous and feeling like they're looking at me because they know I have no license. They know I'm driving like this, and the fear of leaving my children behind and being deported, and it was just like the worst, not just for me, but to my children, because as soon as they would see the cops, they would be where, Mom, there's a cop. Sit up straight. Everybody is relax, put the volume down from the radio. Don't smile, don't do this, don't. It was nonstop pain, and I don't know, horrible situation that I do not want to go through that again in my life.
Do you ever feel like it's when you're nervous like that it's dangerous driving?
It is because you're nervous. You're nervous because you're holding up the wheel, and you're feeling like they want to stop you, and you're thinking that they want to stop you, and of course. But then again, I do think that we are, speaking of myself, that I became able to control that at the same time. Able to, okay, I do have the fear. I have those feelings coming in my body, and my body feel nervous, but at the same time, I do have my children sitting in the back with me, and I do need to go home.
And you're supposed to be looking at what's going on around you.
And everything else. And I need to listen to them and make them feel comfortable, and I need to make that cop know that I have a license and make him feel like I have a license, and still feel nervous and have to control all that in my brain, all that situation in a matter of seconds as the police just pass by us.
Of course, one of the reasons you're having this campaign is that you know other people who are living with this problem right now too? I
have a lot of people that, most of the people that I surround myself, it's without a license. I know a lot of people that go through this, and I hear their stories. I also work. I work a lot with children. I work in a daycare, and plus I teach dances, and I work with the young people because I teach choreographies for quinceañeras. So I work with a lot of 13, 14, 15-year-old children, and they talk about the fear of their parents being deported because of not licenses, and the fear of their parents being undocumented, and what that happens. And we have conversations like that. So I'm surrounded by them every day.
Well, one thing you might have heard is that there's some people who still have trouble with this law passing because they're afraid there might not be enough access to records about drivers from other countries, or they might use the ID to get something. What do you say to people who say things like that?
Well, first of all, when we come here because we're in need. Because obviously someone back home is not taking care of us. And they're not giving us what we need to provide for our family. So somehow we have to cross the border. So we're just people that want to do something of themselves and want their children to have something. So we're not criminals, or we're not anything. So we bring our documents with us, passports, because in our mentality too, we come here to make a better living. So we're not going to screw it over. We're not going to screw that over. So we come here with everything and our truth here for them to receive us, because obviously we're going through a lot in our countries. So we come with our documentation, everything prepared for us to come in here and say, here we are. We are just people that want to work and needs a better life. And this is our documentation, take it.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Alicia Cortez from Movimiento Cosecha. Alicia, you mentioned quinceañera. That's generally a 15th birthday party for a young lady. You have a quinceañera that's going to be taking place this weekend, too. Explain the significance of that.
Yes. So we kicked it in already. We started at noon today. And quinceañera, it's a very traditional culture. Part of our community that comes back from the Aztecs and the Mayans, our great ancestors, and that's pretty much to present back then, to present our young ladies to the community. And but today we are celebrating 15 years of promises that they keep saying that they're going to give us licenses, and they don't. So with the quinceañera, it's 15 years, and it's a quinceañera, it's our tradition, and like a quinceañera is presented, we are presenting to the world, to the United States, to Massachusetts, to everyone, what's happening. It's 15 years of deportation, it's 15 years of lies, it's been 15 years of taking everything that we have, and they don't give us anything. And we want people to know that this is happening. And we want to do it through our culture and our quinceañera. It's our culture, it's our presentation, just like the quinceañera's presentation we are presenting. And that's why we want to make it a whole event. We also tomorrow we'll be having a family day, because in our culture, always family is like, we stick together like this. And it doesn't matter where we're from, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Salvadorians, we're just one full family. And our faith, which is, we're having an event on Sunday too. And our faith will be, because we do believe in God, and we do believe that, we will get this, and we have faith.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Alicia Cortez from Movimiento Cosecha. We'll have more news in just a moment.